All right, guys, welcome back to Market Skycast, the official BluSky podcast. After a 2-week hiatus, we are back. And you know what? We're switching it up a little bit. Becky and I are going to be bringing traders in from the BluSky community, some of our community partners that trade with BluSky, that recommend BluSky to their members. So we're switching up. We're going to interview them, kind of hear about their story, how they got into trading, what their struggles were, when it clicked, and, what trading looks like them for today. So we've actually got two traders with us today. We got Frosty and Camo, and yes, those are their Discord names, not their real names. So guys, appreciate you coming on. How you guys doing today?
Doing good.
Good. How are you?
Doing well. And as always, I got Becky with me, Coach Becky, our resident psychology expert, and now master live streamer. So Becky, how's your day going?
You gave me too much credit, but I am really happy I got back in on this short for the third time because the first one and the third one are winning, so I can't be mad about that.
Yeah, and if you're watching recording this, we are filming this in August, the day of NVIDIA earnings. So it's been pure chop, and we've been getting chopped to pieces, making money, but it hasn't been fun. But enough about us. Let's get to why we're here. So Camo, I want to start with you. Take us back to the beginning. What even made you think about getting into trading, and when did you actually start trading?
Well, I was involved with crypto, I don't know, probably about 5 years ago. I made money, lost money, and then just one day, really, one of my best friends down here in real life, he told me about futures trading, which I've always heard about. I never really dabbled into it. And then he was consistently making money, and I was like, man, can you just sit down with me one day and show me how to do this? And from there, it was almost like a life-changing moment, almost like when the caveman gets the bronze. I was like, this is something in my DNA. It will never go away. And ever since then, it's been about 3 years. Um, Fortunately, I'm profitable, and the last year or so has really been a roller coaster, but a good one for sure.
Love it. So you basically got bit by the trading bug immediately. I mean, I think
Yeah, it found me.
yeah, once you find out about the potential, you're like, I'm going to do this. So I mean, okay, sounds great. Frosty, what about you? Was your path kind of similar or completely different? I think you told me you've been trading quite a while.
Yeah, I've been over a decade, off and on. I started with equities, just trying to, swing trade basically, but with a small account. And then I realized I couldn't really do it, Then I found small cap gappers. I moved to those. I moved to options with blue chips. Kept, trying things and failing, taking a break for a while. But the last probably year, I would say I've been focusing again. I got back into it when COVID hit and everything had tanked, and I made real good money on options and then blew it all, terrible. And then, I've been working back since and just kind of, trying to learn again and unlearn bad habits that I learned, trading options. But I just got into futures this year in February. Really love it. Camo's pretty much the one who introduced me to futures and, bit me by the trading bug right back. And I love the futures though. So been trading with props ever since. And I've been profitable with props. Still working back my losses on the options, but, whatever.
So you mentioned when you... Go ahead, Becky.
Futures are such a different beast than options. So it is like you can start to learn the market with whatever your introduction is, crypto or stocks or options. But then like it all kind of plays over. Futures, I think, is really appealing because it's so simple and the props have made it so easy to navigate like the risk of it, just the fees instead of like a full account. So it's kind of an interesting space. It's very alluring.
Props are huge. I wish I knew about them to start. Like
Yeah. Oh my God. Me too. Becky and I's journey was very similar to yours. We, options first, found futures, kind of never looked back. But you mentioned when you got, I guess, back into investing or back into options during COVID, and you made a lot of money. Do you think that kind of hurt you, just like being successful
100%.
right off the back? Yeah.
I got in like when it was going up. And I did really well up until it was like 2022 or 2023. And we kind of topped off and rolled over. And then we had a bear market for like a year.
Yeah.
And that whole topping thing, like I had just been like basically buying dips and, you know, selling it when it got up and it was fine. But then that whole thing changed. And then I tried shorting and then it just went against me that way. It would go up and then I tried longing and it would go down and I was just buying like, so I got real good at buying tops and selling bottoms. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
The market shifted.
Yeah.
Great.
You know, it's funny because I was the same way. And back because I started investing or started options in the COVID times, you could just blindly buy, and at some point you were gonna make money. And I remember every community I was in, once that top hit, oh my God, everybody basically lost their whole stack. So you are not alone in that. So now you guys are like you're profitable in futures, or you're at least making your money back. You're not losing money. Now I want to talk about the part that most people don't want to talk about. Becky calls this the messy middle. I call this the struggle. This is where you know what you're doing, but you just can't get over that hump. And it could be your strategy. It could be something psychologically. You could just be breaking rules all the time. So let's dive right into that. Becky, you want to kick this off with Camo?
Yeah, I love the meat of the story of what actually turns a trader from like starry eyes, I'm in love, I see the potential and I want this, to like, it gets real hard. I think for most people, there's a season of like, I don't know if I can do this. These are my struggles. And then you persevere. So that's the part of the story that I love most when I talk to new traders. So what did that look like for you, Camo, when you hit that first kind of struggle phase?
Yeah, I think like every trader knows, the cycle of emotions. At first you're up and you feel like, oh, I can do this in my sleep. And I think it's when you hit that bottom and how you come out of that. A lot of people, might quit there. I really think it's how you bounce back from, those those depths of your trader journey. And for me, it was I like to teach friends in real life on Discord. And sometimes I would be teaching people, and what I show them, they're having great success. And that was, to me, that was like my aha moment was, it works for me, but it really didn't hit me like in the mirror until I share, my thoughts and my strategies with other people. And then when they respond saying, yo, wow, this really helped. Thank you so much. To me, that was like my aha moment of wow, like, it's almost like looking in the mirror. Wow, this is really working.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Love that.
I think sometimes saying it out loud and sharing with other people, like when the student becomes a teacher, so many buttons can click and it's like, oh, I really do know things and the strategy is really solid. Like that's a great example of that transition time.
I know I got so much better when I started teaching people because I had to really lock it in, like airtight. But so you mentioned you kind of the ebbs and the flows, but do you remember like something specific that you used to do all the time? Like, was it tilting? Was it just breaking a certain rule that like was holding you back that you could finally overcome it? Did you remember like a specific examples of certain things?
I would definitely say like the ease of the ease of blowing a prop firm account and how easy it is just to buy another one.
Oh yeah, reset.
To, just to almost like you throw money in the garbage of, oh, well, I have $200 left for drawdown. Let me just blow it and buy another one. I think that's like it's a really poisonous mindset. And sometimes like you can definitely, like you said, you can go full tilt.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Was it over trading? Was it over leveraging? What kind of made you blow accounts more in the beginning?
Just not really understanding my own behaviors when it comes to risk management. Sometimes one trade I might do 2 micros and the next one I'm doing 12. It was just not a consistent pattern.
Yeah, makes sense. Now, Frosty, let's just go to you. You had kind of a different journey. You've been around a lot longer. Do you have anything specifically that you struggled with when we first started?
Oh, I mean, yeah, lots of things I've struggled with, but over the time you struggle with different things and you kind of move through each one. I definitely struggled with thinking I had it all figured out to start when I was making money, and then losing it all just made me question everything. So I kind of stopped trusting trends or anything, because like I don't trust the trades, because like they would reverse against me. So that was, you know, a tough one to work through. I kind of had to reset, reevaluate my strategy, change it a lot. I definitely do different things now. I was trying to scalp with the trend. Now I trade reversals. It fits in with what I think all the time. I'm always afraid it's going to go against me, so I wait for it to look like it's actually going to go against me, and I you know, hit the reversals. These days, I mean, I still struggle with over trading and over leveraging, both of those. A lot less for sure, and it's a little less every day, but it's hard to stop when I'm either wrong or red. You know what I mean? Like, constantly fighting the ego of wanting to be right, and then constantly fighting the, like, you know, I guess that's also ego, you know, not wanting to end the day red. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't feel good, you know, but it feels worse when you like are green and then you send yourself red. You know,
so been there, done that. Oh my god.
Knowing to like when to walk away, either when you're in green or red, is a huge psychological part too.
Well, let's get into that, because that's a tough one that a lot of traders deal with, and I still deal with it. I know Becky does as well. Is rules, whether you're red or green. When you first started, guys, did you have rules, or were you just hopping in whatever the hell you thought was a trade? Like, tell us about that, Camo. Let's start with you.
Yeah, I definitely had days where I was trading 100, 150 trades, and some of those days I might end up $20 profit, you know, just clawing my way back. And I was doing that for weeks, maybe months. And then eventually, on one of the days, my mentor, who originally got me into day trading futures, he came over one day and saw my dashboard and was like, "Man, are you crazy? Like, what's going on?"
Don't look at it. Don't look.
Oh yeah, I was definitely embarrassed. And then it really just showed me, all right, I need to limit myself. Now I definitely have max trades for risk settings on all my accounts. So if I hit it, I hit it. If I don't, I'm not trying to hit that limit every day.
Yeah, so I think that's so good to like figure out where your tendencies are to slide. Yours was maybe over trading. Someone else might be over leveraging, and it would take 2 trades to annihilate an entire account. But if you can figure out what your slippage point is, and then like someone even, you know, let a friend know, right? Accountability partner or mentor, let them in on your trouble, then you can kind of bust it wide open and figure out how to target it to get better. Because I think every trader can resonate with that, of like, we each have our own little hidden secret, like, I don't know, tendencies to mess ourselves up. And so that's really important to call it out of the shadows and face it head on. Like that will change your trajectory as a trader, I think, right?
Yeah. And Frosty, what about you? What are your rules now?
What's your advice?
Pretty much have my rules is just don't trade past, like I don't want to go in negative 500 for the day. Like as long as I stay above that, I kind of will keep trading very often. I'm trying to limit myself on the green side as well. So, you know, if I hit $2,000, I'm trying to be done for the day, because
I mean, that's a lot of money.
If I try and push myself more than that, I go crazy. I tend to go for the bigger accounts. I like the 150s, the 200Ks. So I am trading with higher leverage and going for larger amounts. But like, if I get below 500, generally I just keep dropping. Like at that point, I'm trying to chase it and trying to get it back, and it just never works out well for me. You know, for trades for me, like I still like I was with one prop firm that the risk team banned me because they thought I was a bot at first. I had to go on and like talk to them and everything, because they were like, you took 300 and over 300 trades in a day, like. I'm like, and then like someone averaged that out, and it was like, that's like 1 trade every 2 minutes. And it is, I scale in and out. So like
Okay.
Yeah.
every
It's very
one
active.
of those is I do one micro in, one micro out. So 12 in and 12 outs, 24 trades.
Ah.
Still,
Oh,
it's a
okay.
lot of trades, even
Yeah.
still, you know, and like, so yeah, but that's my main struggle is like trying not to trade too much. If I stick with like 50, you know, in and out, which is really only when I look at my journal, it's like 3 to 5 trades, like
That's a sweet
actual
spot,
trades. You know what I mean? But
The moves
it'll
you
show
took.
as like 50 micros in and out. So it
Right.
shows as 50 trades. So it looks like a lot more, but yeah. Like I mean, I'm looking at my BluSky, which I just passed the buffer on.
Let's
And
go.
I had
Congrats.
259 trades to pass the eval and the buffer. You know what I mean?
Which realistically could be like 30, 40.
Like contract
30.
It's a lot.
exchange. So not necessarily trades.
Yeah, what the dashboard says is trades, but then like my journal, I look at that and it's like it's not as many trades as it seems. So that makes me feel better about it. But journaling has been a big help too.
Well, I'm glad you talked about journaling because I want to talk about accountability, and journaling comes into that. Now, trading, you know, you're your own boss. Like if you take 300 trades and you blow 5 accounts, nobody's going to yell at you. I mean, your wife or your girlfriend might yell at you when she sees the bank account, but there's nobody to hold you accountable. So in the beginning, did you guys have like an accountability partner, a mentor, anything like that? Or are you just sitting in the corner crying after a bad day? Like what did that look like for you? Let's start with you, Camo.
Yeah, I didn't really journal at first. I wish someone introduced that to me earlier. I was really just doing like on various prop firms on the dashboard, you can see your stats and your data. Me, I think journaling helps a lot. I like to physically write down what I did for the day. It just helps me reflect better. Um, yeah, I think journaling is very important. And if you don't journal, it can really be detrimental because you don't know why you won. It should, why you won, why you lost. Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah, I
have
think journaling is the power because it gives
notebooks.
you your own personal metric, right? Like where you're shining and where you want to improve at. It kind of highlights that.
Did you
Yeah, I
did you
remember
ever go
a
ahead.
couple months ago when Frosty hopped on with me, he was doing the same, writing handwritten notes, and he sent it to me, and it looked like a madman was writing these notes, but I understood like what he was writing down, the method to the madness.
Love that. Love that. Now, did you show your journals to other people, or was it just were you able to hold yourself accountable and go back and actually fix what you were doing wrong?
First, I was definitely self-conscious, but I think with the our community and how just forgiving we are to each other and supportive, it I only like to share, my journals with the community. Losses, wins, talk someone into, yo, why'd you have such a bad day? How'd you have a good day? It's good to feed off each other.
Yeah, I love that. And Frosty, did you journal in the beginning, or did you talk to people about trading, or was it just you kind of sitting by yourself like, damn, that sucks?
Definitely me sitting in a corner, banging my head against the wall in tears. That was one of the things that that was one of the biggest like hurdles that I had to overcome, was being angry with myself. And that's what other people helped with. Like I had nobody. I didn't know, like I like tried to get a couple friends into it, but like I don't know anybody in real life who's really into it. And like so like I go on Reddit or stuff, but it was like it's a terrible like cesspool on Reddit, you know what I mean?
Oh God, yeah.
And it's like, so finding this community where you could actually like talk about it and stuff was key, because like I started realizing like, oh, okay, I'm not the only one suffering from this stuff. Like you see it and people talk about it occasionally online, but it's not talked about nearly enough. I feel like psychology, like I think the strategy is part of it, and it's a necessary part, and you have to learn to trust your strategy to start. But the real place that everybody fails is the psychology, being able to handle losses, being able to handle winning, being able to, you know, trade in different ways depending on how the market's acting, or recognizing that you can't trade during how this market is acting. And so you need to step back and just not trade. And those things like definitely came with other people and showing them, you know, what I was doing. And, you know, at first it was like there was a lot of failure and stuff, but then there was a lot of good things that came out of it. Like people would take the information that I would say and like make money off of it and make good trades. I would look at my stuff and be like, why didn't I listen to myself? Like they made money off of it. I
Great point. Great point.
And went back and forth, flipped my bias like 20 times. Yeah. If I had just done what I said, I'd be fine. So I started kind of listening to myself more, not getting upset with myself. And then also, you know, talking to other people, like you said, teaching, like it's a huge thing. Like just tell other people this stuff. Like I tell people stuff over and over again in the community, like, you know, you can't overtrade. You gotta know to walk away. While I'm sitting here over trading and not knowing when to walk away. You know what I mean? But I'm doing it a little less because I'm saying it. You know what I mean? And just saying it just puts it back into focus over and over again into your own brain.
Man, you are speaking Becky's language right now. I can just see her like, I'm so proud of you right now. Because
I've watched a lot of you guys' videos.
Okay, because she is our psychology expert.
I've posted a few of them in our community even.
Yeah, you know what's funny is you as educators and coaches and stuff, like I overtrade, I tilt sometimes, but I drill people, don't be an idiot, don't overtrade, don't over leverage, and then I'm in the background like blowing an account sometimes, stuff like that. But you guys mentioned community and stuff like that, and Becky and I talk about this all the time. Like Becky, you give your thoughts on community, and let's talk community about in trading.
I think it's so valuable because I think one question I have for both of you guys, because I'm so curious about this for a lot of people, is that there's so easy in the early trading when you don't know who you can trust and where your safe places are to let it out, to kind of live in that anger and festering and worry about unworthiness and is your ego too big or too small and what you can do with it. And I find that period can be really awful for people and they have to find their way through it. So what I want to know from both of you guys is, what do you do for that like mental sanity, almost to not live in those like negative vibes, but instead to like hold the faith in the long game and what you've learned so far and the trajectory of it? Because I know that community is going to come out of this because I think it's incredibly valuable, but I think we each have our own journey with what gives us the mental sanity to survive in this game. What do you think, Camo?
I think just sticking to your guns and your rules and not straying too far off your own course. Like you said, everybody has their own journey, your own behaviors, and I think just early on recognizing them and sticking to your course, and what works for you may not work for me, works for me may not work for you. And I feel like if you stray off,
make it personal.
Yeah, if you stray off your course trying to be like someone else's strategy, you kind of forget what made you profitable, what made you you. For me, like when I first started, going back to what Frosty said about the psychological side, was I felt like I had to trade every day, especially being in the community. I was like, I have to be there, I have to trade every day, and eventually, realize I can only trade 2, 3 times a week, and I can still, as long as I'm following my path, my rules, and my journey, I'll be fine.
That's a great point, because what do they always say? Like comparison's the thief of joy. Like talk to other people, but somebody might be 5 years of profitability and they make it look so easy. And you're in year one and you're trying to chase their gains, do this, and that's just a recipe for disaster. So great answer. What about you, Frosty?
How do you stay sane?
I definitely think that joking around in the community is a big steam letting off. You know what I mean? Like being able to talk about it, and just like, it's not like so much even talking about, like who's long, who's short, whatever, which sometimes we're in totally opposite trades and they can work out the same with other members. You know what I mean? Because like you said, not everybody trades the same. Someone's on a shorter time frame, someone's on a larger time frame. But either way, you're joking about it. And just that, it alleviates so much of the stress on yourself that it's a big stress reliever for me. But getting away from the charts is also what I found. Like it's super weird because, you know, most things, most jobs, the harder you work, the more you learn, the better you get. But with trading, it's to an extent, like at the beginning, it's like that. You know, you have to put in a lot of reps, put in a lot of time on the charts. But once you understand the charts, once you're working on the psychology part, no longer is like that. You need to put in less time on the charts, because the less time you put on the charts, the less time you spend trading, the more you end up profitable. You know, and that's been a tough one for me to learn, because I tend to be good at things, but I also, you know, do them a lot. Like I go all in, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm all in on it, and I've been all in on trading, you know, and that's why I can't give it up at this point. You know, no matter how many times I fail, I still keep coming back. I will. But yeah, if you don't, if it just, it's, yeah, you gotta walk away.
I love that you mentioned that, because that was my aha moment. I'm just like you. When I go all in, like I'm all in. Same with Becky. I know this for a fact that we talked about when we first started trading, 9 to 4:30 every day, no matter what. Doesn't matter if the market was good.
Studying at night, weekends too.
Yeah, and like you said at first, yeah, like put some reps in, but you don't need to do it every day for years and years and years. And I think a lot of people put screen time with progress, where once you know your strategy, like you know it, you know when your setup's there. Actually, more screen time can be detrimental to your trading. So like my whole thing was less is more, and I preach this, and I preach it over and over again. Sometimes you look at the market, it's nowhere near key level, boom, get off, go do something. But man, we're so big on community here, and I joke with Becky that like some of my best friends are now people I've never met in real life. I don't even know their name. They're just some dude on Discord that cheers me on more than my friends, because people in real life don't get it. And that's why we're so big on community at BluSky. Even if it's not part, like if you're not part of BluSky's Discord or watch our streams, find a community that you can trust, that where if you have a problem, you know, you can go to somebody and say, hey man, I'm struggling. Like, I don't think it gets any better than that. And what if I go to my wife and say, hey, I'm struggling, I keep doing this in trading? She's like, I have no freaking clue what you're talking about, right?
Or they'll tell you to quit, and that's not the answer when you're the Steve.
They'll call you crazy.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Yeah, we have so many members in our community who, like you said, they'll be on the charts from 9 in the morning till 4, take an hour break. Then you see them back in Asia posting. And sometimes we, you know, as a community, we tell them, chill out, man, go outside. Have you even looked at the sun today?
Touch some grass, right?
Touch grass.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. Well, we are out we are out of time for this episode. And guys, thank you so much for joining. I love talking to other traders. And I think like the key takeaway that, you know, Becky and I talk about this all the time. Everybody's journey is a little bit different, but we all go through the same things. So it's such a good idea to just sit down and have honest conversations and let the people watching know that they're not alone and that we are here to help. And like I said, whether you're with BluSky, whether you're with another community, find somebody you can trust. And if you haven't tried BluSky, come try us out. Our accounts are great. I know these two gentlemen are trading them. But any final thoughts before we get out of here, Becky?
I just really think that it's important to be around other traders, because I completely agree with this last segment here about community. I think that you get some negative vibes from out in the world about trading, but if you've come this far and you're hanging with us here at BluSky and with these trading friends, you can have a community around you, and there's a way to get to that profitability land on the other side if you're still working through it. So find your people and hang with us. And this thing is real. Like, trading is real, and we can make it. And there's 4 traders here right here with you that have worked through the messy middle and are finding profitability, and I love the prop firm world. So cheers to trading friends and strong communities. I really appreciate you guys, Camo and Frosty, for being with us today.
And then
Thank you guys so much.
One final thing. I always like to ask this before we end, and I'll start with you, Camo. If you have one short piece of advice for somebody struggling or somebody just right on the edge that might be thinking about quitting, but they're so close to making it, what would it be?
Don't give up.
There you go. Love it. Love it. Frosty, what about you?
I'm
putting you on the spot, I know.
keep practicing. You know, that I definitely think that people underestimate back testing their strategies. You know, the bar replay and actually back testing it live. Like, I think that people need to go back to doing that. Once you trust your strategy, just keep doing that. Just get the strategy you trust. Make sure you trust it. Do it over and over.
Awesome. Absolutely love it. And once again, appreciate it. And guys, if you are one of our BluSky community partners and you don't mind being interviewed, please shoot me a message. We want to get to know our family, our communities. And I love talking to traders. I mean, it's my job. I got the dream job. So guys, until we see you next Wednesday, stay profitable.
Take care.